Update 4 has been in development for months now, however Feyu's recent sneak peeks and messages would suggest that the update is right around the corner. In fact, Feyu just dropped 2 new sneak peeks on the day of recording, and the first confirmed that the second sea is being added, and the second looks like some sort of map. The gateway to the second sea is really interesting to me, and one thing I am curious about is what kind of requirements will be needed to open the gate. We see the Gatekeeper NPC, but it isn't explicitly mentioned what you will need to open the gate. I doubt there will be no requirements, and I think it's most likely it will have some sort of level requirement or max bounty requirement, or maybe even both. Now, you're probably wondering, what does all this have to do with the update bringing back everything that made GPO great? Well, let me tell you what I mean. If you've been playing Grand Peace Online since release, I'm sure you have some fun memories of the Update 0 experience and the huge sense of community that existed on release. Don't get me wrong, the game wasn't perfect, but I really enjoyed how active the community was and how alive public servers seemed. What does this have to do with Update 4, you may ask? Well, I think Update 4 and the addition of the second sea will create an environment very similar to Update 0. You see, what led to the downfall of that Update 0 feel was the fact that the map got bigger and the player base just became too spread out, since server sizes remain the same. There were also no real incentives to actually join public servers. The second sea will open up a new world for players to explore, but most importantly, we'll be exploring it together as a community, and the new fresh environment, in my opinion, will force the players to interact in a way that like they did all the way back in Update 0. I personally think it was the fresh new experience that made Update 0 so great. Everyone was experiencing things for the first time. Now Update 4 is giving the player base another chance to experience the game again in this way, and this makes me excited. I also don't mean to alienate players who joined more recently, perhaps in Update 1, 2 or 3, since you'll also get a chance to experience all this new content alongside the players who've been there from the very beginning. It may sound like I'm overhyping how much content there will actually be, but personally, I think there's a lot of stuff that Feyu is holding back from showing us in terms of content. I mean, the recent 2 sneak peeks really do prove this point, since the update should be in like the next week or so, and Feyu has waited this long to show us the gate and the map, not to mention, what the hell is the deal with the mysterious map? Other things like the upcoming NPC civilians coming to Alabaster makes me really curious about what Feyu is planning. I mean, we've been shown that the NPC civilians will have dialogue, so maybe they'll even be able to give quests to players. Outside of that though, they're all around just a cool addition to the game that will help bring the game back to life. Just another idea off the top of my head, maybe they'll even be able to trade or sell you items. Anyway, I'm going way off topic. Let me get back to answering why Update 4 will bring back what made GPO great. I'll try to summarize my answer now. Okay, so first we have to understand what made Grand Peace Online great. In my opinion, it can be boiled down to 3 key factors: community, gameplay, and incentives. The community aspect will definitely be improved by Update 4, and it will obviously bring back all of the player base who took a break after finishing all the Update 3 content. It will also push these players to experience a completely new world, the Second Sea, together. This will, in my opinion, create an atmosphere similar to what we had when the game first dropped, and everything was new and fresh. The second factor, gameplay, will need me to put on my tinfoil hat and come up with some theories to justify how it will be achieved in Update 4. Okay, so we already know about the new gameplay mechanics that are being added to the game in the form of the mysterious new map mechanic and these new NPCs who may actually change the way we level up or explore areas of the map. Outside of this though, we are getting new gameplay to play through in the form of old concepts like bosses, the crocodile type boss, and a new Kraken boss. From what we've seen, the Kraken boss won't have the same attacks as the Sea Beast that is currently in the game, so I think that it can be counted as a new gameplay experience too. The third and final factor is a little bit harder to explain, since there aren't too many obvious incentives other than reaching max level to enjoy late game content. That being said, one incentive that the Second Sea will give is that it will push players into the same area until we separated from the main First Sea, and this will help bring the community back to life, since I believe areas like Alabaster will become hotspots for player interactions in the same way that Shellstown became the main place to meet players in the First Sea. I personally think Alabaster will do this job better, since the addition of NPCs, and I'm assuming more interesting questing and boss fights, will keep players interested while also acting as a cool space for players to relax and chill with other players, or 1v1 them in the streets of Alabaster. Well, that's all I really wanted to say about Update 4 and how I think it will bring back what made GPO great. As always, I try to keep my videos an open discussion, so feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below. With that out of the way, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing, as it really does help the channel out. I hope you're having a great day, evening, whatever time it is for you, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Bye guys.